Hi, everyone, and welcome to 12 Surefire Ways to Protect Your Restaurant's Reputation. If that is the presentation that you were looking for, you're in the right place, and we'll get started here in just a few minutes. We've got a number of people still signing in, so we'll let them get settled, and then we'll get going. Now's a great time if you want to finish up any last-minute emails, run and grab a drink, run to the restroom, any of that good stuff. Please go ahead and do so now, and we'll get started here in just a few minutes, okay? Thank you. Okay, hi again, everybody. This is 12 Surefire Ways to Protect Your Restaurant's Reputation. We will get started here in just one more minute. So please, if you need to finish up any last minute conversations or emails, do so now, and we'll get rolling here in just another minute. Thank you. Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and get going. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today's presentation is 12 surefire ways to protect your restaurant's reputation while promoting your restaurant and bringing in customers. Now, I say restaurant just to keep it simple, but restaurant, bar, eating and drinking establishment, whatever you are, whatever you consider yourself, this presentation will apply to you. Okay. Reputation has become a major part of how people review and come to discover new businesses online. And this is particularly true when it comes to restaurants and bars. So this presentation is absolutely critical, not only to protecting your restaurant's reputation, but actually growing your business. I'm sure you're all very aware that the reputation of your establishment is a big driver in terms of what kind of foot traffic you get. And now it's also a major driver of what kind of virtual traffic you get, which of course eventually leads to actual foot traffic. So in today's presentation, I hope to give you some really clear examples of why reputation is so important for your business and how you can leverage some specific strategies and tactics to not only protect your reputation, but also drive new customers in the door. Okay, so a few logistics here before we get going. One, I will be recording this and I will send you out a recording. So if for any reason, you have to leave a few minutes early or you're, thinking that you have to take real fast-paced notes, don't worry about it. You'll get a copy of the presentation. You can go back through it as often as you need to. Second, I will take questions, but I'm going to wait until at the end of the presentation to answer them, just to make sure we get the whole presentation in our allotted time here. So you will see below this presentation, there's a little question box there. You can go ahead and type in your questions throughout the presentation. I will answer as many as I can at the end, and anything that I don't get to, I will respond to you personally in the next 24 hours, or somebody from my team will get back to you, okay? Let's see here. Finally, if you hover over the presentation screen itself there, on the lower right-hand side, you'll see a little box that you can click on. If you click on that, it will expand this presentation into full screen mode. That might be an easier way for you to view this. And then at any time you can hit the escape key. It will bring you back into the normal view where you can access that question box if you'd like to do so. Okay, so again, thanks for joining me here. Let's go ahead and get going. So first of all, what is online reputation management, since that's what we're talking about here? Online reputation management, or ORM for short, is the process of proactively using tools, processes, and systems to be aware of and influence the conversation that is taking place about you and your venue online. Okay, so that's quite a mouthful there, but there's some really important things that I want to make sure and draw attention to. The first is the word process. Okay, the second word in this sentence, process. So, what that means is that there is an actual step-by-step methodology, a step-by-step system that you can use at your business to make sure that you are influencing that conversation online and protecting the reputation of your business. And, far, far too many businesses leave this to chance. They don't make it a process. And that's exactly what we want to get away from. We want to put the control back into your hands so that you realize that there is something that you can do consistently to influence that conversation. Next is proactively. Proactively means we are not just going to react to any bad news about our business. We are going to proactively control the message as much as possible to make sure that we're getting as much good press and as much good conversation about our business online. Okay? And then the last word I'd like to call your attention to is the word conversation. Okay, conversation. I think that that's really important because in today's day and age, the internet is really, really social, right? And I don't need to tell you that. I mean, you're all very aware of Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus, right? All of these social vehicles for people to have conversations with other people online. Well, conversation is a key word there because it is a back and forth, right? This isn't something where somebody can just say bad things about your business and you're unable to respond. And it's also not something where you can just say great things about your business and the rest of the population out there is unable to respond. It used to be in the world of bigger business, 20 years ago or so, that a major corporation could just flood the airwaves with all kinds of great press and great messaging, running TV commercials and radio commercials about their business. And really, there was no way for consumers to respond. I mean, you just heard those messages over and over and over again. And other than just, small word of mouth within the relatively small circles that we have, there was no way to respond to that message and maybe counter that message. Well, in today's day and age, that's obviously not the case, right? We are all empowered to, I can hop onto the Facebook page of a major company like Coca-Cola and start a conversation with the executives of Coca-Cola about how I think that their, brand is, maybe, putting too much sugar into the mouths of kids, right, and causing disease and things like that. That's something that Coca-Cola has to be prepared for and know how to influence and respond to. And it's the same thing with your business, okay? Anybody can get online and say what they want to about your business. You need to be prepared to jump into that conversation and do your best to influence it. But it's not a one-way street. It's definitely a two-way street. Okay, so that's online reputation management, or ORM. Now, what are the stakes? Well, the short answer is everyone is online and everyone has an opinion, right? And all you have to do is go out there and look at who's talking about you online and where they're talking about you. And I'm sure you're all aware that there's lots of people talking and they have lots of places that they're able to do it, right? So you can see here, this is just one example, of a review page, and you can see all of the information out there about this particular restaurant. This is Fruition Restaurant in Denver, and the number of reviews, the ratings on food, service, value, atmosphere, the number of people that recommend it and how highly they recommend it, actual comments by real people. So the amount of information out there being said about you coming from existing customers, ex-customers, competitors, disgruntled employees, ex-spouses, former business partners and investors, and then what we call trolls, which trolls are just the permanently aggrieved, right? Like, these are the people that just they wake up in a bad mood and they're just looking for something bad to say about somebody. Unfortunately, those people exist on the internet and you have to deal with them. But it's so easy for people to share their opinion now with the rest of the world that you've got to have a plan for it. Now, what's made this ultimately so important just in the last 12 to 24 months is that search and social have really become integrated, right? What people are saying about you on social sites has become the center of search. And you can see this in Google's acquisition of Zagat in September of 2011, right? Zagat was this business that was known for its small little guidebooks, print guidebooks, right? That offered reviews and recommendations on restaurants around the world. And I remember a time in my life when the Zagat guy was considered like gold, right? One, if you were a restaurant owner, you had to do everything you could to influence that Zagat guide. And two, if you were somebody traveling to a new city or wanting to get real familiar with a city that you recently moved to, the Zagat guide was indispensable. Well, now, of course, all of that information is now online. The print guides, you know, they're kind of a neat little novelty if you want to have them still. Some people still prefer to have a book that they can look at and take notes. But all of this information has been integrated online, particularly with Google's purchase of this information. And the reason that they've done that is that they realize that the social influence, right? What your friends and peers and just other people in your community think about restaurants and hotels and things like that has become, is a major driver in you determining where you would like to go visit, where you would like to go spend your money. And so now reviews have been integrated right into the Google search engines, right? And other search environments as well. So you can see here restaurants, and you can see right here the Zagat score is published right here along with the restaurant's information. Okay, so there's no escaping it now. When I hop online here, it's very easy for me to see the bars and restaurants that are scoring only 15s out of 30 versus those that are scoring up around 28 or 30. And sorry, this is all Denver information. I just focused on Denver. It's just easy. While I started some searching, I found some good information on some restaurants there and just ran with it. So, but this applies in any market throughout the United States and really any market around the world. Now, you can see here again, reviews now being at the center of search. I'm doing a search and look at the information out here that I can find, right? I can find, best bars in Denver. I can find Denver restaurants based on the type of cuisine, the price, the neighborhoods. But really, look what's integrated into all of this, right? What are the highest rated restaurants? And if I'm going out and looking for someplace, nice to nice to eat, I mean, what are the chances that I scroll down to the restaurants that are ranked, 50 through 100 in this particular city? Why would I do that when I can see the restaurants that are ranked 1 through 10 or 1 through 15 right in front of me, right? So reviews really have become absolutely at the center of search. They are at the center of how people determine where they're going to go to spend their time and spend their money. So continuing with what are the stakes, this is a very interesting idea for you to consider. That used to be, and I can remember, being in service businesses myself, it was the idea that one satisfied customer would tell, one to, three of their friends, right? And angry customers would tell 10. because it was always the angry customers that, they got all passionate about how, they were mistreated or the food was terrible or whatever it is. And those are the people that are fired up enough to go out and let people know. Now, well, look at this in this book from Pete Blackshaw on the cover here. It says, satisfied customers tell 3 friends. Angry customers tell 3,000. And why is that? It's absolutely true, but why is that? Well, today an unhappy patron will tell thousands of their closest strangers on the internet, right? Because it's so easy for them to go to these major review sites, and leave a stinging review of your business, and the whole world can see it. So this has become really, really important. In fact, what it does is it creates what's called a negative tilt. Okay, now what does that mean? A negative tilt means, that they have statistically quantified exactly what that book was referring to, in that more people people with more negative experiences will tell many, many more people about their experience versus positive ones. And you can see here, right up here, it says guests don't post mediocre experiences to social media. They post extreme ones. TripAdvisor ratings have 3 times as many negative reviews and 35% fewer positive reviews. This distorted view could mean millions spent on the wrong things. It's reality, right? People that are upset go and talk a lot online and share their opinion, right? They share how, again, they've been mistreated or the food was bad or for whatever reason they feel aggrieved, right? They've got an opinion to share and they are making it very, very loud and clear. So you've got to be very careful that you are considering the impact of a negative review on your business. It's no longer that they're just telling 10 people, they are telling the world. So I think you can see why reputation is so important. Here's an interesting statistic from Yelp that says a 1-star increase in Yelp rating leads to a 5 to 9% increase in revenue. And excuse me, that was from Harvard Business School reviewing Yelp. So a 1-star increase in Yelp rating leads to a 5 to 9% increase in revenue. Now, a lot of bars and restaurants don't even drop 5 to 9% to the bottom line. So this is potentially a huge number for your business. And you can see here from a University of California study, moving from a 3-star feedback to 3.5-star feedback improved the odds of being booked solid at peak times from 13% to 34%. It's amazing. And we all know that in the restaurant business, bar business, right, being packed during peak times is the key to really, really driving profitability. So that's pretty amazing. Just going a 0.5-star improvement drove the odds of being booked solid at peak times from 13% to 34%. It's amazing what a difference it makes. 89% of patrons have researched a restaurant online before dining there. And I think that's only because, there's a handful of people that just don't know that they can, I guess. And 7 in 10 who read reviews share them with friends, family, and colleagues, thus amplifying their impact. And I'm sure you can all relate to this. I mean, I certainly do this as well, right? I'll find something about a business and I'll share it with everybody I know, or I have an opinion about a business and I'll share it with everybody I know. It's just so easy now with all of the social tools out there. So your patrons are sharing their experiences more than ever before. Sites like Yelp, Urban Spoon, TripAdvisor, OpenTable, Zagat, Google, now Facebook as well. All of these major sites are integrating reviews and experiences into their results. So reputation has always been important at your business, but it's never been more important than it is today. So let's talk about 12 surefire ways to protect your reputation and at the same time promote your business and get more customers in the door. So let's talk about an effective ORM strategy. Again, online reputation management strategy. An effective ORM strategy should, 1, be proactive and reactive, but ideally it's going to tilt way more towards the proactive side than the reactive side. Okay, we want to do everything we can to put good, positive information about our business out there online so that it literally, drowns out any negative reviews that we get. And look, no matter how good of a business we run, eventually we're all going to have some customers that feel like they had negative experiences and they want to tell the world about it. So what we want to do is proactively get as much good information as we can out there. Because you and I both know when we're going out there and we're looking at reviews of restaurants, if we see 99 positive reviews and one negative one, we go, everybody's going to have one negative experience, no big deal, right? But if we go out there and we look and we see 50 positive reviews and 50 negative ones, that's a totally different experience, right? Totally different decision-making process when I see that kind of review feedback for a restaurant. So ideally, we want to make sure that we're swarming the online universe with great feedback about our bar or restaurant. Okay. Now, you also, though, do need to be reactive. Again, as I said before, it is a conversation. So when somebody posts something negative about your bar or restaurant online, you want to make sure that you have a strategy for responding to them, because just letting that review kind of dangle out there can cause some real problems. Or letting somebody just run wild with a negative conversation about your business online can really cause some problems. So you want to think about, hey, how do we react when we do have a problem? Okay, an effective ORM strategy should combine marketing, SEO, public relations, branding, sales, and customer service. I mean, effectively, it should incorporate every aspect of your business into your strategy, right? How you are answering your phones, how you are greeting guests when they come into your establishment. How are you following up with them after they've left? How are you handling bad service experiences while they're there? If they're disappointed in the food or their drinks, right? So everything about your business impacts this, and that's critical for all of your employees to know, right? That they all really impact this. So it should cut across all core business functions. All right, 5 core principles of ORM. Number 1 is to listen to what your patrons are saying. Okay, you've got to have an ear out there for what the conversation is about your business. 2, contribute to the conversation. Again, don't just be reactive to it. You want to contribute. You want to be proactive. 3, delight patrons by exceeding expectations. This should be the foundation of our business, right? This should be what it's all about, is that we are trying to make sure that when people come into our bar or restaurant that they have a fantastic experience. 4, collect feedback, referrals, and testimonials. Have a process in place for collecting the good news about your bar or restaurant, right? Again, as we talked about, people are much less likely to share a positive experience. So the reality is you have to make it very, very easy for them. You've got to put a system in place to collect that feedback. And then number 5, plan how you will respond before you need to. Okay, the last time, the worst time to try and come up with a response strategy is when you're in the middle of a crisis. Okay, you want to have thought that through before it happens. So let's start with listen to what your patrons are saying. There's a handful of things that I recommend that you can use to have an ear out to the online conversation and make sure that you're proactively listening to what people are saying. The first is Google Alerts. Google Alerts is a free tool from Google where you can essentially set up email updates on any sort of keyword. Okay, so in other words, I could type in, let's say that my restaurant is called Fruition, right? I can type in Fruition Restaurant into the search query, and anytime Fruition Restaurant is named online, is typed in online, right, in any place, Google will send me an alert letting me know. So that way, if somebody, types in a review on a site that says, hey, I was at Fruition Restaurant, this last week, and here was my experience, I'm going to be sent an alert telling me about that review, where it is, what it says. So this can be a great way to get information about your business. It can be a great way to get information about your competitor's business, about you individually. If you have a name that's out there in the public, in the community, right? You can find what people are saying about you, what's being put in the press about you. So it's a really, really, really handy tool to kind of spy on what's going on online. Number two is you can monitor social media sites, blogs, and forums using some very common tools of the trade. And actually, Google Reader no longer exists, so we need to update that. But tools like TweetDeck, Hootsuite, Social Mention, these are all tools out there that essentially allow you to connect to all of the major social sites out there and do very similar to what Google Alerts will do for you, which is to in one place show you this nice interface of all of the conversation that's going on to any site or any individual or business that you've connected to. So really, really nice tools to allow you to stay really in touch with what's being said out there on social media sites. Okay, so there's a couple of tools that you can set up. Again, the idea is just to make sure that you are proactively listening, that you're being made aware of the conversation that's happening out there about you and your business. Okay, next, number two was to contribute. Contribute to the conversation in a meaningful way. So the question is, what do I mean by, contributing? What do you need to contribute? Well, you can't control what people say about your venue ultimately, right? I mean, that's ultimately up to them. You can't twist their arm and make them say what you want them to say. But you can make sure that you're adding enough to the conversation to ensure that the ratio of positive to negative is in your favor. And this is absolutely critical. Okay, that ratio is absolutely critical because, again, as I mentioned before, if we go out and we search and a restaurant has 99 positive reviews and one bad one, clearly we're willing to accept that everybody has a bad review every now and again. But if we go out and we see that that ratio is tilted more towards that negative side, all of a sudden we start to go, not so sure. It seems like I'm going to have an inconsistent experience here, or it seems that 50% of the time I'm going to have a bad experience, right? So it's really important that you control that ratio. So there are a number of key things here to do this. So one, it's really important that you set up profiles in all of the key directories and networks. Set up the profiles for your business, okay? Google plus local is incredibly important because it's integrated into the Google search engine. Yelp obviously is a big one. TripAdvisor is huge, but also LinkedIn, Facebook now, Twitter, right? All of these sites can have profiles about your business. Okay, and there's many, many more out there, right? The Yellow Pages sites, right? I mean, there's just so many review sites out there and business profile sites out there. In fact, I can assure you that unless you've been proactive about this, that there are profiles out there about your business that you don't even know about because they don't have to be created by you. They can be created by somebody else, or they can be created by the company that owns the profile site, like Yellow Pages or Yelp or whatever. They will create profiles about your business without you even knowing about them. And people can be up there leaving reviews about your business without you even knowing about it. So it's really important that you take control of these profiles, that you go out, you set them up properly, you make sure that they represent your business accurately, right? That they have the right phone numbers, the right addresses, the right contact information, that they have the pictures that you want up there to represent your business. All of those things can be controlled to some extent by you, and you should make sure that you do everything that you can to control them. Next is to start blogging. Okay? Blogging, I'm sure just about everybody is familiar with blogging, but just in case you don't know, blogging just means essentially that you can go out onto any number of sites and you can, publish your own thoughts and ideas out there on the web. And it's, very, very, very easy to do. Now, the great thing about this is that you can create a message about your business, okay? So, here's one Grizzly Bar. Since 1990, we've been serving up beer and music to the Denver, Colorado community. And you can see that they have, posts on here about the food, the bands, fun times, right? They're really giving you an idea about the culture of the bar here and what you can expect to find. Now, the great thing is that blogs are really, really integrated into the whole social community, right? So you can put social media sharing buttons on your content and get your content out to the world in a pretty viral way. Okay. And again, what you're doing now is you're improving that ratio. You're putting good content about your business out there. So when somebody does a search, they're much more likely to find the good stuff about your business. And one of the strategies that we really like, this third bullet here, is to use these posts to then populate a monthly newsletter that you can send out to the fans of yours that have subscribed to your email list. It's a great way to keep in touch with people and build that ongoing relationship and sense of community. Number 5, make educational and entertaining videos and post them to YouTube. Um, YouTube is just amazing. I mean, it continues to just grow and grow and grow at an incredibly fast and incredibly consistent pace. Again, I'm sure all of you know that more and more we're spending time on YouTube. It's amazing. Certain things like music videos. Uh, there's no such thing really as music videos on TV anymore. They're all just consumed through YouTube, and just more and more content is being consumed through YouTube. Now, Google bought YouTube a number of years ago, and there was a reason for that. They saw how people were so addicted to video online, and they realized, man, we need to make that a core part of our offering. Well, because of that, check out this stat from Forrester here. Any given video stands about a 50 times better chance of appearing on the first page of search results than any given text page in the index. So what that's saying is if you create videos, you have a much higher chance of getting that video ranked in the search engine so that people will see it. Okay, so again, Google bought YouTube and they integrate YouTube into the Google search results now. So you can see here, this is great. The restaurant at Meadowood has 12 days of food Christmas, day one. So they're creating a 12-day series of videos. It's a fantastic idea, and it's something that really any bar or restaurant getting creative, you can come up with a series of videos that you can create on a regular basis. They can be educational, they can be entertaining, they can be both. Keep them brief. You can see here this video is 2 minutes and 57 seconds long. The average video watched online is around 2 minutes, so we have a very short attention span. So just make these quick little videos. They don't have to be ridiculously professional. You can get a good old iPhone, camera now, and they're perfectly high quality that you can just make some fun, casual, authentic videos about your business and get them up online. But what's important is that you get them out there. Okay, so there's a couple ways that you can create content to contribute to the conversation. All right, next is delight, right? Delight your patrons and be easy to work with. Again, this is obviously the foundation of managing our reputation, right? We want to make sure that we are delivering the absolute best food, drink, and service to the people who come into our establishments. So this is the foundation. And for the most part, I don't need to tell you how to do this. This is what you guys are good at. However, there are a handful of tips that I think are really important to consider. Okay, so one is to really aggressively promote that remarkable service at your establishment. So, creating a service culture where everybody understands that they all contribute to the reputation of your business is really, really important because everybody does. I mean, we've all gone to a restaurant or bar and had our experience spoiled by that just one employee. I mean, the rest of the bar or restaurant could be absolutely operating perfectly, but there's that one person that's just decided, hey, you know what, today I don't feel like providing great service, or I'm going to let this certain customer have it because I don't agree with them on something. So it's important that everybody understands their contribution. And, we've seen that the best bars and restaurants establish metrics and rewards that promote those good experiences and really encourage all employees to participate in that process and encourage all employees to collect testimonials. Okay. Again, this habit of collecting the good stuff, making sure that people are getting the good stuff out, is really, really important because otherwise there's that negative tilt that you don't want to have impact your business. Okay. And then share that praise with your team, right? When patrons really take the time to say something nice about your team, share that with everybody so that they can feel the impact that they're making. All right. Also, a big believer in using what's called Net Promoter Score. Net Promoter Score is just a super simple one-line survey to ask people what they feel about your bar or restaurant. Now, the important thing is that that question says, based on today's experience at our restaurant, how likely are you to recommend our restaurant to your friends and colleagues? Okay, and that's exactly the heart of the issue, right? How likely are people to recommend, to say good things about your bar or restaurant? So it's just a super simple question with a 10-point scoring system that gives you a really nice, clean methodology that you can use to determine, hey, are we doing better or worse in terms of satisfying our customers on a consistent basis? And are they more likely or less likely to recommend us? It takes away a lot of the subjectivity of this topic and gives you a very objective way of measuring it. So if you go online and just search for Net Promoter Score, you'll find some really good resources on how to implement this at your business. All right, number 8, say thank you. Okay, there are lots of awesome, easy ways to say thank you now to the people that come into your business. And there's really no excuse not to, because when you reach out and you say thank you to somebody, thanks for coming in, here's a coupon for your next visit, or please bring a friend next time and desserts on us, or something like that, it goes so far, and it's so easy to do now. There's so many simple automated ways to do this now that are very, very low cost and high impact. We put an example of like an edible arrangements here. We booked a party one time at a restaurant, had a group of people there. The manager afterwards sent us an edible arrangement, and also a bottle of champagne and a thank you note that was handwritten saying, hey, thanks for having a party here. We appreciate it. Love to see you back again. Our team had a great time with your team. That type of thing. It goes so far to getting us back into that restaurant and telling other people that they should do the same. Postagram, right? Really cool, easy way on, it's an iOS app, which means it works on your Apple devices, that you can easily, take a picture of a guest at your restaurant or take a picture of your team, say thank you, email it out to them, right? So if you have a process for collecting their email address, then that's a very, very neat, simple thing that you can do. Handwritten notes, man, handwritten notes go so far, right? Because there's just something old-fashioned about it that rarely exists in today's day and age, where it's like, man, somebody actually took the time to handwrite a note to me. Who does that anymore, right? One of the businesses that's famous for its service, Nordstrom, right? Nordstrom continues to do that. If you make a significant purchase at Nordstrom, you're going to get a handwritten note sent to you by the person that helped you while you were there. Those things go so far, and they're simple to do. You can make them a part of your regular routine of operating your business and can have such a huge impact. All right, next was collect. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're collecting the good feedback, and honestly, we want to make sure that we're collecting the bad feedback as well, so that we learn from it and can do something about it. Okay, rather than have somebody just go and share their feelings about you on the web, hopefully we can try and get those feelings from them before they even leave our bar or restaurant, or immediately after, so we can do something about it. Okay, so some really simple tools for doing that. Survey tools like Survey Gizmo or Survey Monkey are just really easy. As I mentioned before, the Net Promoter Score, you can create a Net Promoter Survey right inside of Survey Gizmo or Survey Monkey and have that go out the door for you really easily. People can fill these out on their mobile phones. You can have an iPad right there in your bar or restaurant that you take to your customers right as they're finishing up their meal and ask them to fill out the survey. There's a number of ways that you can do this. Set up multiple channels for receiving voluntary feedback. So, just make sure that, you're marketing that you want feedback everywhere that you can. So on your email signature, on your web forms, on your invoices, on your receipts, any newsletters that you send out, any of these can be great opportunities to collect information. Of course, you can have the good old, survey cards, the little physical cards that you include in, when you're handing out your check, and include in there with the bill so that people can give you feedback then. There's just any number of ways that you can do this very easily now. So what's important is that you have a number of different channels to make it easy for people to do this in the way that they would like to interact with you. Again, you've just got to make it as easy as possible. All right, next is to plan, okay? And again, having established processes, having a routine for how you're going to manage your online reputation is much better than improvising, okay? So we want to have a process and a plan in place. So first, you want to develop a process for responding to negative buzz before you need to, right? Before you need to respond. So that process is essentially listen, decide whether to engage, apologize, affirm your commitment to making it right, and then ideally you want to take it offline. Okay, once you've done this successfully, you want to take it offline so this whole conversation isn't happening in the public. Okay, and then of course we need to move on. We need to learn from the experience and move on, and then reflect on that experience to determine, hey, what was the lesson from it? What can we do to change about our business to hopefully ensure that that doesn't happen again, and then act on implementing that change. Okay? So that's a simple 8-step process, but it's a critical process, right? Listening to the conversation that's being had, deciding whether or not you want to engage, because not in all cases is it worth it. Make an apology, affirm your commitment to making it right, doing whatever you can to make sure that you change that impression that they have. Take it offline, right? Have a real conversation with the person. Get them on the phone, invite them back into your business, get some FaceTime with them, okay? And then move on and reflect and act on what you've learned. All right? Number 12 is build a referral system, okay? You want to have a system that encourages people to say positive things about you to their friends and colleagues. Because again, if we leave it up to chance, there will be that negative tilt. So we want to put in a process that encourages it and makes it easy for people to refer us. So it should be an active and methodical process. And you should ideally create some sort of referral reward system, right? So, bring in a friend and get 50% off your next meal, or bring in a friend and get free desserts. Tell 5 friends and your next meal's on us. Some of those things may seem very hard to manage, but the technology that's out there makes those things very, very doable now. There's lots of really cool technology out there for restaurants and bars that makes it a pretty automated process and very integrated into social media sites to make this whole sharing and referring of your business very, very easy. And that's absolutely critical, right? It's got to be easy. Okay, so that was step number 12 in our system, right? I told you I'd give you 12 steps to protecting your online reputation and also promoting your business. I hope that you can see all 12 of those steps can make a really big impact on your business. And hopefully you'll get the chance to implement all 12 of them. But I'm telling you, if you just even implemented half of them consistently, you would be a real step ahead of the competition. All right. So go ahead and make sure you fire in those questions. And I'll answer, like I said, as many as I can here as we wrap up. But the big takeaway from today's presentation that I want to make sure that you all really get, you can't control what people say about your venue, right? There's only so much you can do. Again, you can't twist their arm to make them say what you want them to say, but you can exercise some control over the larger conversational context that they say it in. Okay? So again, one bad review getting posted in a sea of positive content out there about your business is not going to have very much of an impact. It's up to you to make sure that all of that positive content is out there. So proactive ORM is all about making sure you're adding enough to the conversation to ensure that the ratio of positive to negative is in your favor. Okay, and you can do that by creating your own content in the form of blogs, videos, newsletters, social media posts, and you can do that by the way of collecting reviews and information from your guests, from your customers, and getting that information as public as possible. Okay, so I hope that major point, I hope that you get that, and I hope that that serves your business here going forward. So what can we do? Well, reputations take years to build, but they can be damaged in minutes. So we offer highly specialized online reputation management services to help you protect and grow the business you've worked so hard to build. This is what we do for our clients. So if you're thinking, man, all of this sounds good, but I know that I'm so busy taking care of my bar or restaurant. I'm so busy taking care of my customers, hiring my team, training my team, making sure that we're, delivering food and drinks at the quality that we want to, that I don't have time to set up a 12-point system like you just described. Well, then we'd be happy to help you with that. We do this for our clients. We help them manage their reputation online. And if this is something that we could help you with, we'd love to. No high pressure pitch or anything here, but if you have any questions and you'd like to get in touch with us and just see, if there's anything that we can possibly help you with, we'd love to have a conversation. So you'll see our contact information is all around this presentation. So feel free to just get in touch. We'd love to hear from you and love to see if there's a way that we can help your business. Okay, so let me just grab a drink of water and I'm going to answer a few questions here, and then we're going to let you get back to your day. All right, let's see here. We've got a few good ones I see. All right, so the first one here is, what if I have some bad reviews that are out there? Is there anything I can do to get rid of those? And some of them are completely untrue from ex-employees that said some nasty things about our business when we got rid of the employee. Yeah, so that's very common in this industry. Restaurants and bars tend to go through a lot of employees, and a lot of them are younger and get kind of emotional about being let go, or just have bad things that they go out and say about your business. And and sometimes, honestly, we get a bad review that may be warranted, because we weren't firing on all cylinders one day when we're delivering our service. So what can you do about it? What can you do when there are these negative things said about them? Can you go out there and demand that they're removed? Can you, sue the person? What can you do about those reviews? That's a very, very touchy subject. It's one that is actually being played out in the courts on a continuous basis, because there are some businesses that have really challenged the negative review that a customer posted and have taken them to court, have sued them. I tell you, that is a very, very, very touchy subject. It's one where in almost all cases that I've seen, if you try and take any sort of real aggressive stance like that, it ends up backfiring on you. It ends up showing, that maybe you're overly concerned about what people are saying about you. And it kind of, if you object too much, right, it kind of indicates that maybe it's true. The best thing that you can do, and look, don't think that you're going to get Yelp or any of those sites to remove negative reviews about your business. It's just not likely to happen. So what you need to do is you need to focus on getting as many positive reviews as you can to counteract that negative review. Again, like what we talked about, the best thing that you can possibly do is just get a whole bunch of positive content out there. So, it may be as simple as, if you have a negative review that gets out there, you may know a lot of customers that are really happy with your service that will go out and respond to those reviews on your behalf and say, hey, this person may have had one bad experience, but we go here and eat here all the time, and it's always a great experience. So just having people respond. Again, following your response process that we outlined, the 8 steps where you can go and respond to that person and try and get a conversation going with them to try and turn them back around into a fan, can be a really important step for you as well. But for the most part, you want to kind of maintain the high ground, be very classy about it, and do your best to get as many good conversations and comments out there about your business. All right, let's see here. Our next question. Are there ways to get reviews on mobile phones? Yeah, to capture reviews on mobile phones. So yeah, this person smartly is aware that people are in there in the restaurants and in the bar and on their mobile phones all the time, and seems like it would be a very easy way to capture that feedback if we could make it easy on mobile phones. Yeah, absolutely. There are systems that are really designed for leaving comments and reviews from mobile phones. This is something where, not all sites, for whatever reason, will let reviews get posted from mobile phones, but more and more they are, because obviously they're aware that, just about everybody is using their mobile phones when they're out at bars and restaurants at this point. And let's see here. Okay, so somebody says, I've noticed that another restaurant in the area that we compete with is ranked higher than us in the search engines when you search for our food type and the city that we're in. Does that have to do with reputation? And yeah, that can have a really, really, really big impact. Now, exactly how big of an impact and what impact it has, we're not, nobody's, unless you work at Google, you can't say for sure, right? And we don't work at Google. So all we can do is go off of the best research and best actual experience that we have. But yes, let's say that somebody was searching for Asian food, in San Francisco, right? All kinds of Asian food restaurants in San Francisco, some amazing ones, some horrible ones. But reputation will be one of the biggest factors, we believe, in how Google decides to present those search results back to you. Okay? Because if there's 100, 200, 1,000, whatever it is, Asian restaurants that they're trying to decide how to present back to you, why would they not start with the highest rated ones in the city, right? Because it's very unlikely that you're looking for the lowest rated ones, right? So yes, absolutely, reputation is being incorporated into search results. Again, there are a lot of factors that go into those search results, so it's not the only thing, and we're not sure exactly how much weight that reputation holds, but we do know for sure that it is impacting the search results. Okay, so yeah, really, really critical to manage your reputation there and what's being posted online about your business for a number of reasons. Okay? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and let you go and get back to your day. I really do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. There are some other questions here that were asked. We will get back in touch with you personally, either myself or somebody from my team here in the next 24 hours. I will get a recording of this out to you as well. And then again, if you have any questions about this topic, if you'd like to discuss any ideas on any specific strategies or tactics that you could put to use at your bar or restaurant to manage your reputation, that's what we do, and we'd love to talk to you about it. So if that's the case, get in touch, and we'll just have a conversation and see where it goes. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a great day. Bye-bye.